Okay, so we've seen a lot of your questions about security clearance, and we want to get you some answers. So we've tapped our Parliament Hill reporter, CBC's Catherine Tunney. Kat, can you tell us what is security clearance and who needs it in Parliament?
So it's basically the green light that allows people to look at Canada's top secrets, essentially. So it's kind of a rubber stamp that's on your file, on your name, that allows, public servants and some politicians to be able to sit in on top secret briefings, to be able to look at intelligence, learn Canada's secrets, but also what our allies are sharing with us as well.
So why would public servants need security clearance, and what kind of access does it grant you?
If your job requires you to look at some of this information, if you work for CSIS, Canada's spy agency, or the RCMP, even certain diplomats need access to this as well. If you're dealing with intelligence, if you need to be in on the know, you would need a security clearance in order to be able to have those conversations to begin with.
How long does it take to get clearance?
It can take months, but I've even heard of cases taking more than a year. When you're starting from scratch, it's a really robust system. When you're getting your security clearance, there's a lot of really uncomfortable questions that the agencies are asking you. They'll be asking you about your family. They ask people about their preferences. They go through their tax records. It can get quite uncomfortable. And it's also a process that isn't, yes, you've done it and now you're one and done and you're good for the rest of your career. In Canada, if you have a top security clearance, that's valid and needs renewal every 5 years. So it's an ongoing process if you continue to work in this space.
Can you tell me why it's not mandatory for all party leaders to have security clearance?
Well, while opposition leaders play a super important role in our democracy, they aren't, at the end of the day, the government, right? That's kind of the point of being in the opposition. They're not making these decisions on behalf of the Canadian government. So in the past, they've not had access to some of this information. Now, we're having the conversation that we're having right now because last year, when concerns about foreign interference was raised, there was this offer to the opposition leaders to get briefed in order to be able to look at these documents.
Let's talk about the Conservative Leader, Pierre Poilievre. Now, he's likened it to an oath of secrecy. Is that a valid comparison?
There's some truth in that. There are laws protecting classified information that, if he were to spill the beans, he could go to jail under the Security of Information Act. So there is truth in that. There's a reason why we want to protect classified information and why it should be kept secret.
So what happens if he becomes Prime Minister without security clearance?
If that is the case, if he wins, he will be brought into briefings, he will be given access to intelligence because he would be the prime minister. So I don't want to say that this situation would go away. Clearly, this is a question that he's been asked for months and continues to dodge him on the campaign trail. So it doesn't go away, but as prime minister, he holds public office and there are different rules around that.